proper wrapped up. It was much warmer, I remember, when we were there for the last meeting. But delighted to see Jody winning again. He's clearly enjoyed that. Another success for him in the Grand Military. We roll on. So that was the 3 o'clock, which made the 3:05. This is going to be the 3:40 now. The Team Forces Handicap Hurdle. Bob Barley 4-1. Blue Stello is 9-2. History Beer is 5-1. West of the Bridge 11-2. Hermes Boys 6-1 and 10s and bigger. The rest all 12 going to post. 4-1 then heads the betting. Bob Barley for this penultimate contest. Head back out on track and join Nick and Steve.
Thanks, Tom. Yeah, he's now favourite, Bull Bally, who has been backed, won on this card last year, and is clearly fancied to win again.
Yeah, he won the novice handicap, the closing race today last year. He's got a lot higher mark these days. He's £27 or £17 higher, but he's shown in recent runs that he's still competitive off his new mark. And if he settles, he was a bit keen last time. If he settles, he's very likely to be in at the business end because he's quite a consistent type.
Yeah, let's have a look at Huntingdon. This is certainly more recently than winning on this card last year, when the trip on the day, clearly no bother whatsoever, winning from the front in a rather tenacious manner. Your takeaway from this one?
He was too keen early, and he paid for it later on. He ran fine, but he was, he was a bit keen. He just needs to settle down today.
That run over Christmas, or the day after Christmas actually, at Kempton on Boxing Day behind Grey Dawning was strong, considering who came third. Absolutely. We know that. And you did mention right back at the start of the day when we were talking about the mark for this, yes. You said, look, it doesn't allow for any underperformance to be a big player here, but clearly the market's factoring in there's unlikely to be, or less likely.
He's a consistent type. He is a consistent type, and as you know from his win last year, that the course will hold no terrors. I said it all the time.
Here we go. The last winning rider of the day so far, Jody Soul. Just reminding Steve Mellish over, well, that goes back a few years ago, doesn't it?
Oh, at least 2 years running. I've said what a good rider she is.
She is.
Yes.
Jody. She's just won her fourth, and
she has.
She's gone off for a well-earned drink.
Absolutely.
Last year's winner of the race is here as well. This is West of the Bridge, who's 6-1 to win it this year.
Yeah, when he won last year, and the following race was won by Bob Barley, who we just talked about, his time was nearly 4.3 seconds quicker than the closing race, and I do think he comes here with pretty solid claims. If you fancy Bob Barley, I think you've got to fancy West of the Bridge as well, who's a much bigger price. He's been running pretty well. I thought his last one was fine. They reverted to more prominent tactics last time out. That seemed to suit, and I just think he's a bit like Bob Barley. He's a consistent type. We know he goes on the track, and he ought to run his race.
I think we ought to have a look at a clip we did earlier today, I'm sure. History Beer running on Trials Day behind Hackaday Plast. And, well, look, just no factor whatsoever. There you go, the 11th horse, who's miles ahead of the 5th place horse eventually. History Bear, such was the ground he made up.
He was outplaced early, and he was, at this stage, probably 20 lengths behind the eventual winner. And he doesn't just come fifth, he's a closing fifth as well, all the way through. You lose sight of him when they're concentrating on the first two. If with a decent race on Trials Day at Cheltenham, over 2 mile 1, on this evidence, you'd think that the 2.5 mile would really suit him. Against that is that when he's tried it before, he hasn't run so well. We'll have to see. He comes here, say, on the back of this run. He's not in a picture here at all. You'll see a white hat coming to view in a minute. He would have been third in 2 or 3 more strides. And so this is strong form. If he runs like he looks like he's going to do in terms of stamina, he'll have a good chance.
It's just without question one of those runs that tempts you in next time, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, very much so. And I say it could be that. He's actually down 2 as well. That was a good race.
We haven't mentioned the former favourite for this race earlier today, Blue Stello, who has obviously got the position at the top of the market, given the connections, but given the potential that is very much there.
Well, we don't know how good the horse is. He's only had 3 runs. He won last year a maiden hurdle on good ground, and he ran his reappearance in a handicap, came on heavy ground. In the end, he was beaten 11 lengths, and if he reproduced that, it wouldn't be good enough. But he is lightly raced. It's not heavy today, but I still wonder if he could maybe have done without what rain we've had.
Just what are you talking about horses going up in trip? Finest View, whose full sibling can you call beat Hermes Boy and actually Blue Stello, 2 horses who are leading players to this over 2 mile 4 recently. So What about this horse?
Yeah, again, got a chance finding his form for her form for Andrew Martin. Won 4 times for Alan King last year.
Yeah.
Hasn't quite reproduced that so far, but the last run was more encouraging. And you touched on Hermes Boy. I do think that horse has got a good chance. His second 2 runs back, I think he'd have a really good chance. In the Lanzarote, I mean, he was pulled out along with 2/3 more than that, three quarters of the field. But a lot of youth was made of him that day in attritional conditions, and he was just a tired horse.
Yeah.
I suspect, or I hope, they ride him with a little bit more patience today.
Didn't get a word from Paul Nicholls about Psycho, but the market's told a story there that the horse has drifted massively, really.
Yeah.
It's 8-1 or so when I noted last night, earlier today, can't remember which, but about 28's in a place now, so no seemingly strong support or any support really for this horse.
He hasn't been the rival 2 runs this year. Last of 3 finishers, and he then fell at the second in the chase.
And a word on the back class of Master Debonair, who was whose last win came in the Kennel Gate in 2019 and beat Time Hill in a Cheltenham bumper once.
Yeah.
There might have been a little bit of support each way for him, maybe.
Yeah, he's only 3rd run for Christian Williams. He's probably getting the hang of him. He's his 3rd trainer now. And that last 4th was a better effort than the first run for the stable. So maybe he'll come on again. He needs to, but it's not impossible.
2 of the more competitive races to conclude, aren't they? The handicap hurdles that we've got this and then the last.
Yeah, really like them both. And say this is a good race. We've got plenty of horses who are either in form or proven at the track.
Good old Pride of Pemberley, who looked fit at the back there.
Yeah.
Coming back off a massive absence that is only half of the previous massive absence.
Yeah, extraordinary.
It is, isn't it? Nearly 2,000 days combined off the track.
Very patient connection.
Very patient. Right, race 5 as we go up to Mark.
So they walk forward, take 1 flight in the back straight, and they're off. This is the Team Forces handicap hurdle. It's run over 2.5 miles. They'll be crossing 9 flights in all. And last year's winner, West of the Bridge, was alertly away on the inside. Barley is very keen racing alongside him. And wide is 34 Stitches. Those are the first 3. They're followed by Blue Stello, who will rise in 4th place. They go over the first flight of hurdles. The back marker was Pride of Pemberley, and also towards the rear of the field is Matador as they go into the turn. So it's West of the Bridge who has the rail and the lead of about a length to Barley, free racing in 2nd position. Then on the inside, Finest View. Finest View has now pulled her way into 3rd place with around the outside 34 Stitches now in 4th. In 5th is Blue Stello as they make the run down the side of the course. Next is Master Debonair, who races out quite wide, just in advance of Istribert. Then towards the inside is Royal Muni as they make the turn into the home straight the first time around. Sir Psycho is next in the field, followed by Hermes Boy, the vivid orange right on the inside. Matador is last but one, and the back marker is Pride of Pemberley as they race on now towards flight number 2. And West of the Bridge and Harry Skelton still have the lead over Barley and Brendan Powell in 2nd. A break of about a length and a half back to the mare, Finest View on the inside in 3rd. Still wide is 34 Stitches in 4th. He's in turn about a length and a half in front of Blue Stello, who races just in 5th, with on the inside Royal Muni as they go over the flight, which will be the last in a circuit's time. This time around it was flight number 3. Ridden away from that flight was Hermes Boy, who's racing in the last trio. So they have a circuit to go in the Team Forces handicap hurdle, and it's West of the Bridge who leads by a neck. Barley is in 2nd. Towards the inside rail, Finest View just in 3rd. 34 Stitches is in 4th position, 2 lengths away to on the inside Royal Muni, who races in a share of 5th position together with Blue Stello, and then out wider is Master Debonair. After Master Debonair, Sir Psycho, he's racing on the inside of Istribert, then on the inside Hermes Boy, and the last 2 remain Matador and Pride of Pemberley. So along the side of the course now, no jumping for about the next 2.5 furlongs or so, and it's West of the Bridge who leads them towards the back straight. His lead now extends to nearly a length over Barley in 2nd, 2 lengths away. 34 Stitches on the outside of Finest View, still in that dispute of third and fourth places. They in turn have now got a break of about 3 lengths. 2 on the inside, Royal Muni, who has now taken 5th place. He's a neck in advance of Master Debonair around the outside. Blue Stello between horses. Wide trip for History Bear as they went down the back straight. And next is Hermes Boy. They rise now at flight number 4. And Borbali becomes the new leader. Borbali more fluent, quicker in the air than West of the Bridge, who jumped it in second. Back in the pack, Blue Stello was not that fluent and lost a couple of places at that previous flight as they go over the second one taken down the back straight. And Borbali and Brendan Powell still have the lead. To West of the Bridge towards the inside in second place, and this is the third flight taken down the back. Over in third, Finest View, racing on the inside of 34 Stitches, who's ridden along now in fourth place. Then Royal Muni, who races on the inside of Master Debonair, Sir Psycho, and out very wide History Bear, and then Hermes Boy. After Hermes Boy is Matador. Last but one is Pride of Pembrey, and pulling up at the back of the field is Blue Stello, who lost his place very quickly going down the back straight and was pulled up before the third from home. So now they're leaving the back straight behind them with just 2 more flights of hurdles to take. And it's always been West of the Bridge and Borbali. It's been their private party so far. They've been the first 2 throughout. They lead by over 3 lengths. To Finest View, who races in third. And then 34 Stitches around the outside is in fourth. So Psycho now in 5th position, followed by Master Debonair, ridden in 6th. History Bear makes the turn in 7th. Matador, from a long way back, is staying on. He's now in around about 8th place, but he is picking up 1 or 2 places. Royal Muni has checked out. Hermes Boy has never got to them. Pride of Pembrey is tailed off, and they're in line for home. Last year's winner, West of the Bridge, has gone on once again now to Borbali in second. Finest View, and then on the near side, 34 Stitches, followed next by History Bear, and on the inside is Sir Psycho, and this is the second from home. And West of the Bridge jumped that flight really well, and he's clearing away. He's gone clear now by 5 lengths. Royal Muni has been pulled up before the second from home. Pride of Pembrey was pulled up 2 out as well. Down towards the final flight, and it's West to the Bridge, who is clear of his field. The lead is about 8 lengths as he crosses the final flight, the 9th and final flight. Over in second, Finest View, then Borbali, History Bear, and Sir Psycho, but they are all playing for places. The winner has flown, and a back-to-back winner of the Team Forces Handicap Hurdle is West to the Bridge. West of the Bridge wins. In second, rallying Borbali. In third, Sir Psycho, and in fourth was History Bear.
Well, history has repeated itself because West of the Bridge, who's run a very wide margin winner, dominating in the conditions, has won this race for the 2nd year in a row. Last year, it was leg 3 of a 4-timer. And there you are, back into the winner's enclosure. What was the price? 13-2. It was an 11-1 winner last year. Not quite as discounted this year. But West of the Bridge pouring it on and clearly thrives on the day.
Very much, and the other winner from last year, Borbali, ends up being second. And as I said, on the times last year in the weights, really, it is the order they should have finished if you took those things literally.
We said as much at the start, yeah.
Well, he was ridden prominently again, which I do think suits him. He got into a lovely rhythm, jumping rise, and in the end he stormed clear. And to be fair, this is probably a career best effort, but it was very, very good. Borbali again was very keen early on, settled after about 2 hurdles, and to his credit, has stayed on despite, I say, using up some energy. And we found out a few things. Did Mr. History Bear stay? I'm not sure he improved for the he moved up to have some